this tax policy. I'm not really sure how to express to you how dark what the Republican Party is doing to America. I'm not pausing for dramatic effect, even though it does have a dramatic effect. Uh, the deductions that many of you may have enjoyed, I know I sure as hell was counting on the deduction for moving for work. I moved from Boston to Georgia. That deduction is gone as of 2018. I won't be able to file for that. Maybe I will be able to. I don't know if it's going to retroactively take place for 2017. I don't know. I didn't see that particular detail. But if anybody moves in 2018, that's gone. Being able to write off interest on your house up to a certain limit, it's gone now. It used to be $1 million. Now it's $500,000, which most of us in this conversation, whatever. The ability to write off your costs for graduate school, gone. All of this, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going off of memory, and it's like at least 12 different deductions that the average working class and middle class American actually could use, gone. 5 years from now, middle class taxes from people who make between $40,000 and $75,000 a year, which is not really middle class, but that's what they call middle class. Your taxes go up. Not that I am really concerned about the deficit, because it's really about our debt to GDP ratio, but our deficits are going to be hit by $1.5 trillion, the cost of this legislation, the cost of this tax break. And it's going to kick in sequestration, which is going to take away at least $25 billion from Medicare, which leaves about $111 billion that has to be taken and found somewhere else because of the Pay-Go 2010 piece of legislation, pay as you go. I mean, gone. All these, everything that could help an average person move ahead, gone. Funding. This is not a part of the bill today, but this happened 2 weeks ago, or 2.5 weeks ago. SNAP benefits reduced, literally taken in the budget, cut. Food for kids, hungry kids, the disabled, and the elderly, cut. So that the Republican Party can do the bidding. Literally, as Lindsey Graham said, their donors told them that if they don't push tax breaks through, they're never going to give money to them again. And so what do Republicans do? They bent right on over and stuck it to us, the working class and the middle class. And it's in this area that I shout the loudest that you cannot tell me that there's no such thing as a greater evil, because they are literally taking food out of the mouths of children in order to give tax breaks to the wealthiest people. And they do it with a straight face. I mean, Paul Ryan gets up there with his cornball ass and just says, like, today we did something good for the American people. You know, we're really here, and we're going to help the working class. He's literally saying he's going to help the middle class, when in their bill, everybody knows this is going to hurt the middle class and the working class. But he stands there looking you dead in your eye with this little Eddie Monster looking ass smile, smirking, saying we've done something great for the middle class. No, they haven't put funding back in for CHIP. Children's health insurance program lapsed. That didn't even lapse because they were trying to use that money for the wealthy. That lapsed because they were too busy trying to repeal Obamacare and kick people off of insurance that they didn't have enough time to actually re-up the funding for CHIP. Not pausing for dramatic effect, but I want that shit to sink in, man. And here they are. These tax breaks, they don't have an expiration date like the George W. Bush tax breaks did. They're permanent. Which means Congress is going to have to proactively act in order to reverse what's being done. We can't just sit by and know that there's an expiration date. And because they're going to try to push us through the Senate on reconciliation, it's going to be in effect for a minimum of 10 years before anything can be done differently to it. It's not necessarily going to expire in 10 years because the House version says there's no expiration. But even if there was an expiration, it would have to be 10 years out. Guess when the tax is raised on the middle class? 5 years in. So 5 years of everybody thinking that everything is good except for people who can't deduct things on their, they're not going to be able to deduct the expenses for moving across the goddamn country. Those of us that don't, we're going to be hit right away. Also that you could cut corporate taxes down from 35% to 20%. Also that you can flatten the tax code and break it down to 4 brackets instead of 7 brackets, because whoop-de-doo, that really makes that really simplifies it. That's tax reform, guys. This is going to create such a huge hole in the federal budget that the next move after this is 100% to say, hey, guys, look at this deficit, guys. We've really got to do something about it. We need to cut Medicare. We need to cut Social Security. And now, speaking of Social Security, Donald Trump's next move is quote unquote welfare reform, because all these white people are against welfare, and it's translated as actually Social Security. He's coming after Social Security next. The only positive thing that I have to say is the fact that the pendulum must swing back harder than ever and further to the left than it's ever gone before. You even got Matt Iglesias from Vox, who gets on my nerves, but he even made note of the fact that we can cut. We found $700 billion for the military, and now we've found $1.5 trillion that we're willing to write a deficit for in order to give tax breaks to the rich, but we're not willing to raise taxes a little bit in order to give Medicare for all. I'm like, what? Huh? Medicare for all? You guys are ready for that over at Vox? So the pendulum has to swing so far back. But here's the problem. You know what? We need you guys to run for office. I swear to God. Bottom line, we need you to run for office, because we need, yes, Democrats in power, because you're not going to, maybe locally you can make it as a Green Party. I'm not going to knock the Green Party that bad. You could win a local commission, but I doubt that you can win a congressional district as a Green Party. So we need Democrats in power who would be as ruthless with doing the right thing as Republicans are doing the wrong thing. Okay? They are willing to, this bill it has only been out since November 2nd. The House bill is called Tax Breaks and Jobs Bill. Yeah, okay. It's only been out since November 2nd, 440 pages, not a single hearing on this bill. Not a single hearing. And here Democrats are, well, guys, we have to be really cognizant of the rules of order here in the House and in the Senate, and it's very important for us to respect the rules of the institution, and we actually have to consider the Republican Party. So let's have 100 hearings and give them an opportunity to give all their amendments and muddy the water so goddamn much that you don't get anything. Like the public option is now gone. Right? We get hearings after hearings. They are willing to do the absolute worst thing for the worst reasons. And here Democrats are sitting around like, oh, no, we can't possibly do away with the filibuster and get Merrick Garland through.